another exciting episode of The Adventures of Gernhardt and Klaus. Last time, while on vacation in the 1960s, the titular time travelers accidentally killed United States Commander-in-Chief John F. Kennedy.
We didn't kill him. He was like this when we got here. Oh, fuck. I swear. Oh, fuck. Shit.
I'm not the cops, I'm just the narrator.
Fuck. The narrator is going to talk, Gernhardt. I just know it.
Get a hold of yourself, Klaus. You're speaking as if you are a crazy person. We will work through this just like we always do. We just have to be clever.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. This is bad. This is so bad, Gernhardt.
Look, this is what we are going to do. We will make a clone of him. And
a clone? And where do you suppose you get that type of technology, Gernhardt? It's not like that is something you can just do. Fuck. Fuck.
Babe, stop messing with the radio. Just pick something and leave it.
I don't like that show. It's about Nazis.
Then pick something else. Come on, babe.
We repeat. There have been reports of a strange and threatening figure lurking around Makeout Point. Citizens of Point Pleasant should be on the lookout for anything unusual.
See, I told you we shouldn't have gone to Makeout Point. Aren't you glad you listened to me, Donnie?
Yeah, babe.
Ah!
Oi, what's going on in there?
Babe, I'm sorry. I actually did take you to Makeout Point.
It's him. It's a threatening figure.
What? Threatening figure? I'm no threatening figure. Now open up and scooch. It's cold out here. Go on now. Scooch.
Ew! Babe, he smells like sulfur and gunpowder.
Hey, man, you gotta get out of my car, bro.
He's up there, love. I'll only be a minute now, won't I? So, have the two of you seen anything weird or unusual tonight?
Not until you.
Pardon me. How rude. I didn't introduce myself. My name's John Johnson, and I'm out here hunting the Mothman, I is.
The what man?
The Mothman.
The Mothman?
No, the Mothman. Like a moth. Like a butterfly of the night.
Oh, the Mothman.
Ew! What is the Mothman?
What's the Mothman? This broad ain't ever heard of the Mothman. You might as well say you ain't heard of Guy Fawkes.
Guy who?
I will hit a woman tonight. I'll do it. I swears it.
Look, you need to get out of here, man.
Bollocks! You chavs ain't ever heard of the Mothman. What if he should strike tonight and you should be the victim of his ire? You'd be right fucked, you would. Your lucky old Guy Fawkes is here to save your arses.
Guy who?
Me name's John Johnson. Now see here, you little whippersnappers. I've got just the podcast to clear all this up, I does. Do you got one of them auxiliary codes?
What the fuck is a podcast?
Donnie, get him out of here.
I'm trying, babe. He's so persistent.
Here, plug this in and have a listen, would you? This could save your life. It takes him a bit to get started, but by the end, you should have an idea of what we're up against.
The following podcast is presented by Secret Room Multimedia. You're listening to Fairpoint Podcast. I'm Nathan Kay.
And I'm Craig Lewis.
And there's a Mothman waiting by the bridge.
He's gonna
Eat your kids.
Maybe.
Is that the story? That I thought it was different. Oh well, we're creating mythology here.
It's a new year. It's a new episode of Fairpoint. Sorry, they're not coming out weekly. We're doing our best. It's
It's a brand new day.
And we're taking another stab at Listener Appreciation Month like we did last January.
Yeah, we did it last January, and we're doing it this February.
Yeah, it's clearly not January by the time you hear this, so sure, it's February. We got 3 listener-requested topics for you.
Yeah, I mean, just because we had a shit ton of stuff going on and we haven't had a chance to really get it out in January doesn't mean that the listeners need to miss out on their requested topics.
Today we have Derek to thank for his Facebook request that we do an episode on The Mason County Mothman.
Yes, and the Mothman prophecy. So what I did was I just watched that movie over and over again, and I have every single Richard Gere line in my brain. And that's all that this. We're not doing the actual Mothman. We're doing the movie, right?
No.
Damn
I
it.
did not. Did you watch
Damn
the
it.
movie or no?
I did not. I mean, I saw it. I saw it when it came out. I've seen the movie.
Yeah, I saw it when I was young, and I was like, this is stupid. This is bullshit. This movie's fucking dumb.
Oh, yeah? This movie was my introduction to the Mothman.
Oh, okay. See,
So,
my introduction to the Mothman was a book called...
the Mothman prophecies.
No, it was called, like, Sea Monsters, UFOs, and Other Strange Creatures, or something like that.
Oh, yeah, because you were one of those kids that read all the weird paranormal books when you were a kid.
I did. Like hotcakes? I don't know. You don't generally read hotcakes.
Yeah, you read them like hotcakes, huh?
I literally ate the books.
I bought them like hotcakes.
Ingested the information. Each strange creature has their own chapter, and each chapter ends with the artist's depiction of that creature. And the Mothman picture is fucking scary, dude. It's literally a half man, half moth, and he's floating above the fucking bridge, and he's got these soulless eyes and this gaping mouth, and it's horrifying. It's like
you would say it's more terrifying than the crappy rubber suit that Monster Quest provided for their depiction of the Mothman.
Oh, I didn't see it.
That was the documentary I watched in prep of this, and I probably should have watched another one.
Was that the one where they had the people, like they made fake Mothmans, like 3 different Mothmans, and put them out in the woods?
At the end of the special, they did that.
Drive by.
And they asked them about that.
I saw it years ago. I remember that.
Back when it probably aired on the History Channel.
Jeez. But the Mothman, if you're not familiar with this weird, freaky creature and the incidents surrounding it from the 60s in West Virginia, then you're in for quite a crypto paranormal treat.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I think what happens after the Mothman sighting is probably more genuinely scary than actually seeing the Mothman.
Yeah.
People tend to
46
die,
people dying. Yeah, I guess so. I guess if I was on a bridge and a bridge collapsed and I was in my car and my car fell into the icy December waters below and I was fighting for my life, watching my family around me die, that would be scarier than maybe seeing a weird bird.
Well, were you? It was a heron. Were you one of the 2 that was never found? You got out and.
Not funny, Craig, and that's in poor taste, Craig.
I don't think so. There's enough time, right?
You know what else is in poor taste?
Everything we do?
The fucking long list of awesome people we've had to say goodbye to in this last couple weeks.
Yeah, that really sucks. Lots of great celebrities and basically icons and heroes for a lot of people.
Artists,
been
performers. Lemmy from Motorhead.
I know that was a lot of people's favorite.
Yeah, that was like 3 days before 2016 started, but we lost him.
Then there was David Bowie, which was tragic to so many people.
Yeah, that one hurts. And Alan Rickman, that one hurts too.
The Alan Rickman one.
I'm not even a Harry Potter fan. Everybody was like, "Oh, we lost Snape from Harry Potter," and I'm like, I don't even think of. I think when I see him in his Snape wig, it's probably his real hair, but it just looks so weird. It feels like it's a wig. I'm like,
you probably think of him as
Snape.
as the Metronome. Metatron.
The metronome.
Metronome. My fondest memory of Alan Rickman is Hans Gruber from Die Hard. Yeah.
I'm not even a Harry Potter fan, and that one hit me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also lost more recently Abe Vigoda.
Poor.
Welcome to Good Burger, Abe.
Yeah, most people probably remember him from Goodfellas.
Godfather,
not Goodfellas. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Goodfather.
It's funny because I was when I found out that he died, I was telling a couple people that I was at work with, and I was like, oh my God, Abe Vigoda just died. The news just broke. They're like, oh, who's that? And I looked at the one guy and I go, you would know him from...
That sounded so cheerful. Oh, who's that?
I'm like, oh man, who's that? And I looked at the one guy and I go, you would know him as the old guy in Good Burger. And then I looked at the other guy and I go, you would know him from Godfather.
And I apparently knew him from Goodfellas. Bob Denver, Gilligan's Island. Tragically, we lost him too.
Lost him. Along with him went another 70s icon, Grizzly Adams, Mr. Dan Haggerty.
So a fond Fairpoint farewell to all of you. Are we canonizing all these motherfuckers?
I mean, I think we have to by our own bylaws.
Yeah.
But that's a lot.
That is a lot. So let's do this lightning round. Lemmy, patron saint of handlebar mustaches.
Okay, absolutely.
David Bowie.
Patron saint of Goblin Kings.
Of Goblin Kings?
Yes. Abe Vigoda, patron saint of mafioso. Yes. Patron saint of my ass.
What can we give Abe Vigoda that's better than that?
I don't know. I kind of like my ass.
Yeah, I think this whole like making them paint them all paint. Maybe okay, you're all canonized. We'll let the religious community, we'll let our congregation determine what they're the patron saint of. So somebody give us patron saintages for Alan Rickman.
Holy shit!
Abe
Can we get
Vigoda.
tax exempt?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna say with confidence. Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Okay. If the Church of Scientology can do it, we can.
Give us some suggestions on Twitter and Facebook and all that. What these fallen
patron
heroes.
saints they should be?
Yeah.
Thunder Energies Corporation, a little research institute in Tarpon Springs, Florida, has just made a new discovery. They've created...
Hold on, what are they? Thunder Energies? Sounds extreme.
It's just a research institute, like
Sounds
science,
like a pretty
geeky,
damn
nerdy.
extreme research institute.
Well, they're harnessing the energy of thunder.
That sounds extreme.
Well, what they discovered is even more extreme. You're gonna get a kick out of this, all right? Just wait.
So I'm not gonna get a shit out of this because it sounded like you're about to say I'm gonna get a shit out of this.
You're gonna shit your pants. No, they've created a new type of lens that actually has the ability to detect antimatter and invisible entities.
What? Invisible entities?
Yes.
Finally, I'm so sick of invisible entities watching me while I shower.
I know we're all thinking, oh shit, use this to find ghosts, right? I don't think this is going to be one of those things that's going to be allowed for that kind of usage.
It's not going to be allowed?
Well, at least not yet. It was created for military purposes and research. They wanted to maybe identify invisible drones, spy drones and stuff. So
fuck that. Finally, I'm going to be like, oh, you want me to burn things down? Ha! Well, now I got a picture of you, and I'm going to show it to people, and they know I'm not crazy.
I'm not crazy. Like, that's a smudge. Yeah. So the implications for when this finally gets out to the public are astronomical for the paranormal community.
I'm going to bring the camera with me to parties, and people be like, ooh, take a picture. And I'll be like, I can't. I can't. You don't understand. Then why'd you bring your camera to the party? Stay out of the basement.
Just all you got to do is remove that lens. It's like an add-on lens that you put over a normal lens. Crazy. I am excited to see real ghost hunters, not the shitty fake ones on television, using this.
So you think someone's going to just point it at the sky one day and be like, oh my God, it's God. Look, it's God.
And you know what? He's so omnipresent, you still won't see him.
Turns out it is an old white man with a beard.
Score one for the white Christian community.
All the like progressive religious people that are like, I believe in God. I mean, I don't believe in like it's some white guy with a beard. Are like, fuck, damn it.
Damn it.
So you expect us to believe that white privilege exists in the world and God is an old white guy and that's a coincidence?
Yes. Question mark. Oh, what I think is hilarious though is the little picture they used for this news article was a photoshopped article that was exaggerating the usage of this lens, but it's just
of course
it's a picture of a man and then like it's through the viewpoint of somebody pulling glasses off their face, you know, and you can see the man, but half the lens of the glass is on half the man's face, and it's a reptile.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's an exaggerated picture, but that was the picture that they used. It is a Photoshop picture.
It's all. No, it's not Photoshop. That was real. That was real photo. I bet you. I bet it was straight from the pages of National Geographic because the reptile menace is real, Craig. They're a real threat. They're here now, and more people every day are wising up and taking it public and going public and letting their cries be heard.
Holy shit.
Joining the ranks of those of us not too afraid to speak the truth. and call out some of the biggest liars in all of history.
Bullshit. Is Galileo bullshit.
Popular rapper B.O.B.
Oh, dude, not with this dude again. My brain's been hurting for the last few days when I found out about this.
He's been tweeting up a storm, letting us all know about his newfound enthusiasm for the flat Earth theory.
You know what I didn't know? I had no idea he had a degree in astrophysics. And NASA's fucking full of shit. They're doctoring all their photos from space.
It's if you're not familiar, there's a whole movement called the Flat Earth Society. Well, I think that's an actual group, and then there's just flat earthers, people who believe there's been a massive conspiracy, mainly perpetrated by NASA, the United Nations, world governments and stuff, to cover up the fact that we were wrong. The Earth is not spherical, and the Earth is actually flat. And that there's something beyond the borders of our quote-unquote poles, those icy lands, which aren't actually poles because they're not on a sphere, they're just on a flat landscape, and that there's something, either an edge or something past that we're not allowed to see or know.
I can tell you what, there is definitely something past the poles on either side, and it's the other side of the fucking Earth.
Like the other side of the flat board?
Why do you think maps are made out of paper?
As above, so below, microcosm, macrocosm.
Dude.
So yeah, B.O.B., this popular rapper is going all over the board, taking pictures, showing, like, pointing out his evidence. Now, I gotta say,
how can you not look at the evidence and not know that it's true?
Here's what I'll say. Okay, yeah. Flat earthers, like, it's worth looking into if you hear about the theory. It's worth considering because everything is worth considering because otherwise you're not thinking. Because you know what? They do have a few points. Like, you're not a physicist. You are taking things at faith. So, you know, a lot of statements and a lot of things, you know, you're taking at faith that you're not being lied to. And it is important to question those things. Now, I personally come to the conclusion that the scientific community is too big and is comprised of too many people
to be bought off like that.
Well, it's comprised of so many people that have a genuine passion for science, who I know that went to college to become scientists because they have a passion for understanding how the world works and educating people about it so that we can move forward and learn more. So, you know what I mean? Like, I trust that the scientific community isn't a massive... conspiracy, you know?
I'm just going to put it this way. I know these are two big name people that are probably bought off. Don't get me wrong. But once Neil deGrasse Tyson changes his stance on this, I will concur.
He threw his hat into the ring a couple days ago. This is being recorded probably a few days or so before you hear it. But yeah, B.O.B. was spouting off, and Neil deGrasse Tyson always throws his hat in the ring when pop culture
it comes
and
to
science
Twitter
collide. and he loves Twitter. And he started calling him out, and he's like, look, and very respectfully, he's like, look, I understand why you're confused. That's a very good question. Here's the answer. Like he's known to do. He's not not mean. He doesn't shoot people down.
Not an asshat.
He's like, look, here's how it is. You were wondering why, like, you can still see the buildings if the Earth's curved, and he's like, that's actually a really good question. It does actually block off because of the horizon. We miss like 150 feet or something.
Right.
But buildings in New York are a lot taller than that.
Way taller.
And, like, he's going on, and then B.O.B. took it personal. He ended up releasing a new song.
Oh, really?
Called Flatline.
Oh, man, I bet you it's dope AF.
In this song, he goes off about reptilians, cloned celebrities.
Okay, I'll buy those.
He praises Holocaust denier David Irving.
No. Come on. No.
Yeah, it's getting really fucked up. He starts sounding anti-Semitic, insinuating that, like, our presidents are all secretly Jewish, and, like, it's
we're all Jewish, but we're not going to tell everybody we are.
The whole reptilian thing, if you read into the whole, like, we didn't even really talk about this. We just kind of started spouting off, but there's a lot of people may be familiar with the idea that there's a conspiracy theory that the Illuminati, secretly in control of all the world events, is run by an evil race of reptilian aliens.
Yeah, not of Earth.
Aristocratic bastards that they are.
It just seems like this song is just like, all right, I was just a flat earther, but now I'm a full-on conspiracy theorist.
All over the map. and he calls out Neil deGrasse Tyson in the song, and he's like, he needs to loosen up his vest or something, and after that point, Neil deGrasse Tyson was like, all right, the gloves came off, and he's like, dude, like he with the character limit on Twitter, made sure to put like 3 or 4 U's in there and said, dude, just to be clear, just because your reasoning is 5 centuries regressed doesn't mean we can't all like your music. And
Still a fan of his music.
it's just like, gloves are off, and he's still complimenting the man.
Right?
I love Neil deGrasse Tyson
Right?
so fucking much. And then Neil deGrasse Tyson's nephew, who raps under the name Tyson, he's like an independent, low-key
Okay,
rapper, released a diss track on SoundCloud to B.O.B.
What if he released? He is a flat earther too. He's like, shut up, Uncle.
calling you out, Uncle Neil.
Uncle Neil, yeah, that's just the drunk guy at parties that starts to talk about how much smarter he is than everybody.
We all love Titanic. Fuck you, Uncle Neil. Gravity was awesome, too.
He's like, hey, I never said they were bad movies. I just said they got some factual things wrong.
Meh. Here he goes again.
This is why I never bring you to parties. You're no fun. Yeah, right. I would love to party with Neil. I want to party with you, Neil.
Just facts. Mothman is the name given to a strange creature or phantasm sighted numerous times in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, throughout the year leading up to the tragic bridge collapse of December 1967.
Craig, do you believe in the Bigfoot?
Not since I watched your YouTube video about it.
Do you believe in the Loch Ness Monster?
Not since we did a podcast about Champ.
Do you believe in Champ?
Not since we did a podcast about Champ.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Yes.
Do you believe in aliens?
Yes.
Can an alien become a ghost? Just a side note here.
I don't see why not.
Okay. Back.
If you believe in both, I assume you have to believe that one could become the other. Not like ghosts becoming aliens. It has to be a one-way street there, but...
Ghost can't become an alien. What if he has his passport and he gets his papers and like...
No, it would be he lost his passport and went to a different country. Okay, so yes, I do believe in it. It could go both ways.
A ghost can't like apply to become an alien? Like
No, because, I think the whole point about being an alien is not applying and just going to a different country.
Well, what if paranormal taxonomy is fluid and it's really about your expression of your paranormal taxonomy?
I know what one of those words mean.
Do you believe, Craig, in robots?
How can you not? I mean...
Vampires.
Are we talking actual vampires or the people that like just drink blood and say they're vampires?
It's a simple yes or no question.
Yeah, I have so many other follow-up questions. Yes. No. Maybe? No.
What about werewolves? Do you believe in werewolves?
No.
Goblins?
No.
Ghouls?
I consider ghouls to be ghosts, so yes.
Spooks?
I do believe in spooks.
Giant praying mantises.
How giant?
30, 40 feet?
No. Then no.
The Blob?
If it exists, it hasn't come to Earth yet.
Shadow people?
Oh, that's creepy. Yeah. Why not? Yeah.
The Krampus?
No.
Rob Zombie?
No.
Slenderman?
No?
What about Mothman, Craig? Do you believe in the Mothman?
Well, why don't we talk about it and figure it out?
What is the Mothman, you say?
I guess you could interpret what I said to create that sense.
The Mothman, popularized by the Richard Gere movie The Mothman Prophecies and the paperback
best-selling
25-cent book that I found at a secondhand bookstore.
Not so best-selling
Sea
book.
monsters, aliens, and other creatures or something.
See, I keep thinking you're going back to the 1970 book, The Mothman Prophecies, which is what the Richard Gere movie was not quite based on.
Popularized actually by that book,
Yes.
to be honest. The Mothman Prophecies, written by John Keel. We're going to talk about that book, and we're going to talk about the strange sightings and incidents that occurred in Point Pleasant, West Virginia between November 12th, 1966 and December 15th, 1967.
That's a long time.
That's like a year.
A pretty long time to get consistent sightings until the tragedy. The first reported sighting was on November 15th of 1966. And the headline for the sighting the next morning was, "Couples see man-sized bird...
Ellipses.
creature...
Ellipses.
something."
Apparently Michael Cera was their chief editor.
So that's what he did before he was born.
Couples see man-sized bird creature something.
It almost sounds like a tabloid headline instead of like an actual news headline.
Yeah, that was the first reported incident, but the first sighting that wasn't reported was a couple days before November 12th, 1966.
If it wasn't reported, how do you know?
Okay. Because I'm a fucking star child. I have psychic powers. I have ESP shit.
Okay.
I watched the Richard Gere movie.
I watched the X-Files.
Well, it was eventually reported, but the first reported sighting was the 16th, and then eventually they were like, "Hey, we saw something a couple days before. We were first."
Oh, I did too, and it was before them.
5 men in Clendenin, West Virginia, are digging a grave at a cemetery when they see a man-like creature fly low from the trees.
Right past them with glowing red eyes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, "Get low, get low, get low." He was singing as he went by them.
He was singing
And
that to the guys digging the graves.
The Mothman was, and it was, they weren't like professional grave diggers. It was actually Guy Fawkes.
I was going to say, why would it
Petey.
take 5 people to dig a grave?
It was Guy Fawkes, Petey, and the Moz gang hanging out in the graveyard, smoking cigarettes, digging up graves, listening to Morrissey.
That makes sense. So then a few days later on the 15th, a young couple, a married couple, I believe, were driving down a road.
I don't know if they're married, but there were 2 young couples in the car.
Yes. Oh, right. 2 young couples driving down a road by an abandoned TNT munitions site.
Yeah, it was this old World War II plant that they made TNT there, and then it got shut down after the war ended, obviously, and it just sat there. And apparently it's really contaminated. There's all sorts of chemicals. It didn't get cleaned up until the 80s.
Also, apparently, there's not much else around there, and it's a common area for the local young people to go, like, make out, basically, like make out point, you know?
Right.
So, which makes me wonder why there were 2 couples in the car. Were they, like, swinging up there and just trade? You guys want to trade real quick?
So they were driving by this old World War II munitions plant, and they saw this weird man-like figure.
Man-like, bird-like.
Yeah, it was standing off in the plant. It looked at them with 2 big glowing red eyes. The headlights shone on it.
Yeah,
and it had glowing red eyes.
Which is something that happens when light hits an owl's eyes.
When light hits a lot of things' eyes, but owls specifically, yes.
But I'm not sure if an owl was man-like and 8 feet tall. This man-like creature with glowing red eyes and a 10-foot wingspan, I swear it's 10 feet.
Suddenly it has wings. It
kicks up, takes flight, and follows them for a while. And they're like, oh shit, it's the Jeepers Creepers guy.
It's flying after the car. They hit the fucking gas. They start driving towards the city limits, and it follows them all the way to the city limits, and then it gives up.
And I can imagine the Mothman at this point. It's like, wait, I'm trying to warn you guys.
A lot of people that saw it, this was the first sighting, but a common description was that, like you said, like a 10-foot wingspan, standing like 4 to 6 feet tall, even taller
Maybe
than
even
that
taller sometimes.
And having glowing red eyes. It was usually described to not have a head like a man, but that the eyes were sunken lower into its chest, which is really weird if you try to picture.
Yeah, just like, well, think of like a gargoyle demon with no neck.
Yeah.
Basically. And maybe they were saying it was bird-like just because it had wings, and they're like, what else has wings? Birds. It was bigger than an insect. It wasn't a giant 20-foot tall praying
Nobody
mantis.
describes it as looking like a moth, really. That was the term that just kind of got coined by the media because of the whole popularity of Batman at the time, the TV show.
Yeah, so clearly bats and moths are identical.
It was just a campy name that got given to it.
They couldn't
had
use
wings.
Batman because it was already a thing.
Sometimes it was described to have bat-like wings. Sometimes, more often than not, I don't think people got close enough of a look at it. They described it as brown or tan in color or gray or beige.
Oh, shut up. It was dark. You don't know that it was that color. I mean,
okay,
not
I was
you.
like, I know that
I'm not
they
accusing
described it a certain way.
I'm telling them, shut up.
The next night, November 16th, of course, the papers, hot off the presses, touting this bird creature something. And
They didn't know it was Bat Boy.
the townspeople combed the TNT plant, went home with cancer.
Yeah, and they just wasted their time, really, because the Mothman was already 30 miles west.
Right? He followed that couple out of town.
He was warning people in Ohio.
That night, the Thomas family, who lives in this house adjacent to the TNT area, saw lights. That's what the locals called it, the TNT area.
I thought that's what the locals call it, the Thomas household. Old man Thomas lives up there. That man's there crazy.
But it's kind of like there's this. Do you know the place over on my old side of town where there's like a mural of the lightning storm out by the woods on this little brick wall, and there's like a generator there or something? People always called that the power plant when I was in high school.
But it wasn't a power plant?
No, it's not a power plant. It's just a small like generator or something.
So what you're saying is the TNT place was really just a generator.
No, just they colloquially they called it the TNT area. That's what it was called.
Gave way to a hell of an AC/DC song.
So they saw some weird lights hovering above the TNT area, and then later that night, their friend Marcella Bennett came over with her baby to visit them.
Oh, Marcella, the baby. That baby's like my dad's age right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Born in 66?
Yeah, well, my dad was born in 67.
Okay.
So,
while Marcella was leaving the house, she was carrying her baby, and she saw something was like crouching or laying like behind her car, like low to the pavement. And
no.
it stood up and looked at her with its glowing red eyes. She was so scared. She was frozen in fear. She fell on her baby.
what?
Yes.
Is the baby all right?
The baby, as far as I know, is okay. Yeah, it's not your father's age.
It could have been.
We'll just say it's not your father's age. No, the baby, as far as I know, is fine, but she fell on her baby. The interview with this woman is fantastic. She's like, I fell on my baby. I'm like, well, she's dead. And it's so great. She gets up. She runs inside. Also, so the Mothman apparently
left her baby.
was like, I think the Mothman had a night of drinking. Like it was drunk. It
just
chased
trying to
these
sleep.
kids because it was like drunk and boisterous and rowdy, and it was like, you fucking kids,
Fucking
get
kids,
'em.
I got wings. These kids don't know fucking cryptid if they ever seen it. They're all still talking about Bigfoots and I'm real.
It's not true what they say, big feet. That's just a wives' tale.
Yeah, because I got a huge dong.
Wingspan. If you measure the tip of one wing to the tip of the other, okay.
You get where
That's
I'm going
clearly
with
an
this.
exaggeration, but
You get where I'm going with it. The sensor bar would have to be yay long.
so the Mothman, I think, was just drunk and passed out behind her car, and then she was coming out, and he's like, oh, and he gets up.
All right, I'll move.
His eyes are all bloodshot. He's like, hold on.
Do you have 25 cents?
I was out in the TNT area. We were setting off fireworks, blowing them up over the TNT area. It was crazy.
Fireworks. Fireworks going off in my pants.
Sorry, that was inappropriate.
I know, you're a classy lady.
I'm wasted.
Your baby's still alive, by the way. That baby was my father.
So she ran inside and was like, that Mothman is clearly drunk. And I do not feel safe. So she called the cops and she's like, there is a drunk Mothman outside my house harassing me and my baby.
and the town sheriff's like, all right, Maureen, now hold on. Back up a second. You said you got moths.
Her name's Marcella. Marcella, not Maureen.
All right, there, Mark. Can I call you Maureen?
And in fairness, like, she suffered from some mental health issues.
Schizophrenia.
At least after this. Persistent nightmares, supposedly further visits from the creature. So,
oh, this is one of those. The creature came to personally see me, and he was like, "You're looking good when I was drunk." So,
what is this? Fucking 50 Shades of Tan? Is this like the Twilight? But instead of it being about
50 Shades
vampires,
of
it's
Moth.
about Mothmans. There was a lost Twilight book. There was an extra book that was going to be a part. Stephanie Meyer, that's her name, right?
Yeah,
Stephanie
sure.
Meyer was writing, and it was where Bella had to choose between the werewolf, the vampire, or the Mothman, who her heart really belonged to.
Really belonged to all three of them at the same time.
Jeez.
She couldn't figure it out. Can I have y'all?
My heart couldn't
All
handle
of you.
that.
We can be a community of lovers.
Para polyamory?
Quattro.
Other people saw it flying over the TNT plant. It chased some other dude's car, supposedly. People were coming out saying they were seeing the Mothman.
There was probably about 100 sightings within a year.
According to some sources,
Some hack?
a source,
Some hack who wrote a book.
John Keel,
Yeah,
narrowed
well,
it down.
The Mason County Sheriff, Mr. George Johnson, he was asked about these sightings, and he said, "Well, I reckon that I believe these sightings to be just of a heron, a wild heron.
I know because I'm a sheriff.
I call it a shite poke. Some folks call it a heron. I say that get that dang old shite poke out of my backyard.
You
He
see,
got them dang old glowing red eyes and a wingspan of about 2 feet. But people see 2 feet and they're like, oh, I'm 10. I know it's one of them dang old shite pokes trying to steal my.
poke.
It's trying to steal my fish that I'm raising in my little pond.
koi fish.
And then there was a wildlife biologist from West Virginia University. His name was Dr. Robert Smith. And this,
Oh, really? It was Robert Smith?
Bobby Smith. Yeah, good old Bob Smith. Good old Robert
Smith from The Cure. What did Robert Smith from The Cure have to say about this?
Close. This is actually his father. Remember, Robert Smith was just being born around this time.
Dr. Robert Smith was my father.
Robert Smith was the kid, Marcel's kid that got sat on and then healed by the moth.
Fact.
No, fact. It's become real. You heard it first on Fairpoint. We're blowing your minds. We're connecting the dots.
We promise to have to at least equal the journalistic integrity of John Keel.
No, but fair enough. That's the other podcast. This Robert Smith, Dr. Smith, I'll call him. Dr. Smith. He is the asshat we can thank for everybody blaming everything on a sandhill crane. Which, if you want to hear more about the sandhill crane and that beautiful creature that gets hated on, go listen to episode 17 with our friends Blurry Photos.
19
with our friends Blurry
so
Photos.
Close. Yeah, we did a whole episode about the sandhill crane. If you're a listener to Blurry Photos, you're well familiar with it. It's a bird that gets a rep for being the proxy excuse for a paranormal sighting or a cryptozoological sighting. A sandhill crane. This guy was like, I don't think people are seeing a Mothman.
A man of moth. I don't think they're seeing a shite poke.
It's highly unlikely that a moth and a man could mate.
But have you seen the movie The Fly?
I'm just picturing this horribly inept unlikely or impossible? Well, sure, it's possible.
I guess it would have to be
definitely unlikely.
No, because I guess the moth would have to be male and the human would have to be female, but then it wouldn't be a man. So, a lot of people have been seeing this Mothman around, and if everybody can just believe Richard Gere for a second and be the gear, you would think
be the gear.
And you would understand that anytime you see the Mothman with his glowing red eyes, disaster is imminent and unavoidable.
Is that a quote from Richard Gere?
It's not a
in the
direct
movie?
quote. No, I'm paraphrasing for him, but that's basically a Gearism. I don't want to take words out of the man's mouth. Or moth.
Well, it's
the
from
man's
a
moth.
screenplay for a movie based on a book by John Keel. So,
But we all know that Richard Gere is probably one of those flat earthers that believe in the Mothman.
Well, the Mothman prophecies was a book written in like 1975 or so. It was the second book about the Mothman, not the first, but it was the one that really popularized it, and it drew heavily from the first book, which is
crazy because, well, this guy John Keel started getting all of his accounts and witness testimonials for his book right after the sightings, basically. So it took him a while to get this book out.
Yeah, it chronicles the events, and it posits that not only were people seeing weird things leading up to this tragedy we're about to discuss, but that people were having strange supernatural paranormal occurrences, or things happen to them. They were having premonitions, and apparently there was some sort of prophecy. I don't know.
A prophecy of a Mothman. Or a curse?
It is written, he is the one who will save us all.
Nobody listened, and all these people died because he was like, guys, I'm warning you. Something bad's going to happen. Don't go on that bridge over there. Guys, stop running away. I'm trying to tell you.
So as Craig and the Mothman are trying to tell you, a bridge collapsed. It was December 15th, 1967.
It was a cold night, if the movie could be believed.
About 5 p.m., right at the peak of rush hour.
Oh.
This is a 700-foot bridge. They call it the Silver Bridge, which is also the name of the first book about Mothman.
Oh, the first book about Mothman is called The Silver Bridge?
Yes, by Gray Barker.
Do you know why it was called the Silver Bridge?
Because it was a bridge and it was silver.
But it was... It was the first bridge to be painted that silver aluminum color.
Made out of pure silver, which also explains why it broke. So this is a big ass bridge. It basically links the town of Point Pleasant to Ohio. It goes over the Ohio River, and on that night it just collapsed suddenly. 46 people died. Dozens of cars fell.
Oh no!
Yeah, dude, dozens of cars just right into the icy water. It was awful, horrible tragedy. People were injured. 2 people were never found. It's very awful.
They had 44 graves to bury. Unfortunately, not 46. Unfortunately, not 0.
Yeah, jeez. Nothing funny at all about that.
No.
And the weird thing is that the Mothman sightings stopped after this bridge incident.
I think the thing was people were so focused now on this real tragedy that had happened. They stopped caring about wacky sightings.
Right. I think maybe it might be that the media just wasn't going to be reporting on Mothman sightings in the wake of such a tragedy. But
somebody was like, I seen the Mothman again. They're like, really, guy? That's poor taste.
To me, it's just weird, though, because I know that a lot of these sightings that are reported are bullshit. I think a few people did see something, but that was it. And then a bunch of people reported a bunch of bullshit. And it's weird to me that there weren't still people reporting bullshit
after.
Now that the bridge went down, I saw Mothman twice, and now he's really serious. He really
came
ain't
into
fucking
my
around.
bed. He came into my bed, lied next to me, and said, "I told you something was going to happen."
Oh, that's right. He told me something was going to happen, but this was before the bridge collapsed, and I just didn't tell anyone.
This is my 3rd Mothman sighting. Hi, my name's Rob, and I'm a Mothman cider.
I'm a Mothman cider.
I wonder what that cider tastes like.
It also might very well be that a lot of what we know is colored by the people that popularized it, the authors that wrote about it, and it really works with the story to play along and be like, yep, all the Mothman sightings stopped after that day. So John Keel feels it's stronger for his book to write that they ended and ignore maybe the few that did happen or something. So who knows, By that I mean the few people that did come forward saying that they saw a Mothman. Afterwards. A half moth, half man.
It was half moth, half man, half sandhill crane.
Yes.
All right. Good to know. Now
all
I have
man,
it in my
Craig.
Half moth, half sandhill crane, all man. Got it.
Supposedly, many people saw strange lights in the sky that night,
The night it happened?
The night that the bridge collapsed. So, now there's aliens? God damn it.
Damn aliens.
Who invited the aliens? Every fucking time something weird happens, aliens got to show up. We're dealing with this. fuck, the aliens are here. Aliens, you gotta call first. You can't just show up.
Damn aliens. First, they collapse my bridge, then they stay here and they take my jobs.
And it gets weirder. Mary Heyer was a local reporter, and she was flooded with calls from locals seeing these UFOs, keeping her stuck working late nights, stuck at the office.
Well, at least she didn't have to go home over the bridge that night.
Yeah, this is all after the bridge, though, because people are seeing all the lights.
Oh, I thought it was like at the same time.
Okay.
Type.
Maybe a little bit before, too. But yeah, so she's working unreasonable hours, and one night, a strange, short little man... He's an MIB, Craig, a man dressed in black.
But he was short, so it's definitely not Will Smith. Could be Tommy Lee Jones still.
He shows up speaking really weirdly, as if he has some type of speech impediment, stuttering and just acting odd. If you're not familiar, the MIB trope, the Men in Black, it goes back...
The Men in Black.
It goes back way before that movie. First of all, the movie's based on a Marvel comic book. But even before that, people would actually claim to see and be grilled by men in black suits after seeing UFO. I'm sure most people...
Was it just UFO? Or was it like mostly anything paranormal? Let's go with UFOs.
Craig, these are just people, random people. There's people reporting shit all the time, so...
And the Men in Black only visit the ones that are real.
Yeah, how do I answer that? Like, no, Craig, it was just UFOs. No one ever said a Men in Black visited them after something else weird. But it was very closely tied with UFO mythology.
What's really weird is that after being visited by the Men in Black, they're able to remember everything.
First of all, Craig, how would they know if they remembered everything? So
because if they didn't, they wouldn't remember to say, hey, I was visited by this guy that was like this.
How do you know they remember everything? How do you know they remember everything? If they forgot stuff, they obviously wouldn't know to tell us that they forgot something else happened, first of all. And second of all, again, Craig, this predates the movie.
Just because it predates the movie doesn't mean it's similar.
You're not making any sense right now. I kindly ask you to not derail the podcast.
I'll be quiet. Me. You read a podcast. You podcast.
What is? I don't understand. What's going on?
I forgot.
Me too.
Were
we just neuralized?
Was there a guy that just left here wearing a weird black suit? Might have been purple.
So this weird dude, like he's grilling her about the UFOs and the people who are calling about UFOs, and he keeps getting closer and closer to her. She's really perved out and nervous, so she pages her boss into the room with them. While they're talking, the phone rings, so she goes to answer the phone, and while she's answering and talking on the phone, he picks up a pen off the table, and he's just like transfixed and fascinated with this pen.
What is this thing? It's like a quill, but not.
What kind of birds do they have on this planet? And apparently he laughs, shoves the pen in his pocket, and runs from the office, fleeing the building.
All he had to do was walk normally. Like, just, have you ever heard of casual? Act nonchalant, sir. Instead, he pulled a mork and was all like, I
want this. It's mine.
Thief!
And then, like, a week later, she saw him crossing the street, like, not far from her office, and he noticed her and just, like, freaks out, and, like, this big black sedan, like, peels around the corner, and he jumps in the back, and they speed off.
Jesus, it's the witness!
For being in such control and being so mysterious and powerful, the Men in Black sure don't seem like they have their shit together.
Right.
Fuck, what if she sees me? Oh, fuck, shit.
She saw me! Act casual! Just dives into the fan. Oh, boy.
Act casual faster. Go.
I bet you she didn't even see us.
Yeah, thank God she didn't see us.
Thank God she didn't have one of those new lenses.
That could have been a disaster. Yeah. So November 2nd, 1966, right in the thick of this Mothman hoo-ha, a man named Woodrow Derenberger, sounds made up.
No, you're wrong. It wasn't Woodrow Derenberger. It was Woodrow Wilson, president. Good man.
It was not.
Good man from West Virginia.
I kindly ask you not to derail this podcast.
Okay, so Woodrow Boogerbottom. Let's go.
Boogerbottom. As told by J.R.R. Tolkien's nephew, who also raps. He also happens to rap.
Christopher Tolkien.
George R.R. Martin.
That was the cousin. The RR is what makes them related.
Just think, Craig, how far we could derail this podcast together, working together.
We can make it so this never finishes. We're just going to run out of space because we'd go over the edge of the earth.
So Woodrow Derenberger, the man with a made-up name, no, he's a real person, but he has a made-up name, was driving on Interstate 77 when he heard a crash in the back of his truck. So he's looking in the mirror like, anything fun? He was a sewing machine salesman or something. So
right. He was like, is that dang old Mothman I saw a few nights ago trying to pick my sewing machines out of my truck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a proud member of the American Women's Garment Union.
I like doing red. Oh, man. A+ to that. Callbacks.
He's looking in the back, and then suddenly some weird vehicle like speeds up. It's like following him. Then it cuts in front of him, and it blocks him off, and it stops. So
he, like anybody, goes around and keeps going.
A man gets out and walks up to the car. This man is about 5 feet 10 inches tall. He's got long dark hair combed straight back. He's got that James Dean daydream look in his eyes.
Is there anything I could do for you, officer?
And he's got a big, broad grin on his face.
And it's not even like a normal grin. It's like a really weird type, like, this is how humans act, right? I'm smiling. Hello.
Lady.
Little did we know it was Jerry Lewis.
So he comes and I guess he's not wearing black though. He's wearing a reflective green suit. So he's a MIG.
Oh, Men in Green.
The title held by me, MIG. He comes up to Woodrow and he's like, "Do not be afraid." He's like, "Don't be afraid. We mean you no harm,
Mister.
lady.
Don't be afraid. Little Haven."
I come from a country much less powerful than yours.
France. I got this one.
My name is Cold. Oh, he said, "I'm cold. I sleep, breathe, and bleed, even as you do." This, by the way, is how I'm going to introduce myself to people from now on. I'll be like, "Hey, what's going on, man?" And he's like, "Hey, Kevin." And I'm like, "Hey, Nathan, I sleep, breathe, and bleed, even as you do."
And the response by Kevin should be, "Well, I would have thought that you did until you made a point to state it out." Now I'm not so sure.
And then he cuts me with a knife, and I bleed normal. And he's like, "I knew it. I knew you were my real dad." And I was like, "Your dad?
What? You're older than me."
And then he kills you, and I'm like, "Craig," and he's like, "No, that was just a plant clone."
The clones. They were cloning celebrities.
And I'm like, "Fuck! I kindly ask you not to derail this podcast, Kevin." So this creepy motherfucker introduces himself as Indrid Cold. He talks to Woodrow for a little bit.
Good old Woody.
They have a short, weird conversation. He looks aside and he keeps being distracted by like the lights of the nearby city Parkersburg. And he's like, "Hey, Woodrow, what do those lights over there mean? What does that mean, all those lights?" And Woodrow's like, "That's a city. It's called Parkersburg." And he's like, "Oh, well, tell me about the people that live in that city." And then he's
At least they knew what a city was.
And Woodrow gets a little nervous, and he's like, "Oh God, is he gonna Lenny and George me? Is he asking me to tell him about the rabbits right now? Tell me about the rabbits out there.
Look at the city out there while I sneak up behind you.
No,
I'll show you we both bleed."
He asks about the people who live in the city, and Woodrow's like, "Mostly just business goes on in the city. People live outside the city." And he's like, "Thank you. It's been nice talking to you, Mr. Derenberger. We will be seeing you again." And then he leaves.
Creepy.
Which is weird. I like the hint. I kind of like the touch, even though this is probably bullshit, that he sees the lights and he's like, "What does that mean? What does that signify, those lights?" Because maybe they, on his planet or where he comes from, they communicate instead of through etched symbols that represent letters or
flashing lights
or vocal sounds. They communicate through lights, different spectrums of lights.
Yeah, that's possible because it's happened on Futurama before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
And
was
tones.
that Simon Says episode?
Lights and tones.
Well, that was a parody of Close Encounters.
Oh, yeah, it was, wasn't it? God damn you, Dreyfus.
So that stuff comes from a John Keel book as well, and later on, Woodrow started saying that the grinning man, what's his name again, Indrid Cold.
Mr. Cold.
He revisited him plenty of times, and he was actually an alien from the planet Lanulo, which is in the galaxy of Ganymede. And
which galaxy is that again? Ganymede.
Ganymede.
The galaxy.
Ganymede.
Ganymede.
He even later went on to write a book, and he claimed that he went to planet Lanulos and all that, and he went off the rails, jumped the shark.
Oh, okay. He was like, are you paying attention to me yet? I went there. I did in my dreams. I wrote it all in my dream journal.
He went and spent Life Day with Indrid Cold and his family.
Oh, that's sweet. How was the Bantha Wookiees?
Indrid Cold, of course, shares that lifeless smile with all the Wookiees in the holiday special. Around the same time, a young girl named Linda Lilly, that name sounds made up too. How come everyone that encounters Indrid Cold sounds like their names sound more made up than Indrid Cold?
For real. It's like, who's giving you names at birth? Stan Lee?
Indrid Cold is like when Drizzt Do'Urden sits down to play Dungeons and Dragons. That's his character that he campaigns with.
My name's Drizzit. You know what? You would need to split your tongue to be able to say it properly. So I'm going to call myself Indrid Cold.
Well, Linda Lilly, named by Stan Lee, woke up one night to see a man standing above her bed. Quote unquote, she says, "It was a man, a big man, very broad. I couldn't see his face very well, but I could see that he was grinning at me.
So that was shadow people.
He walked around the bed and stood right over me. I screamed again and hid under the covers.
Did she scream a first time?
When I looked again, he was gone." Well, I guess so.
So was it a Men in Black, a shadow people, a Mothman? Was it even related to this?
What's the diff? Shadow people, Men in Black?
Well, one's a real thing.
Mothman's not real. That's ridiculous. Highly improbable that a moth and a man could mate. Possible, yes, but highly improbable. The friggin' Pope has spoken.
I swear to God, if a moth and a man can mate, then Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's dad. Hand to God. I'll eat my own Pope hat if this is the case.
How are those Star Wars sequels anyway? I've been meaning to watch them. The first one was great.
The first one was great. I heard the real first one, not the first one that came out, but the first one. That one.
What's the diff?
It basically, I heard it was a great racing movie. Created a hell of an arcade game.
Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom and the Furious.
Yeah, it starred my good old pal Vinny D.
Supposedly, John Keel also received a lot of phone calls from Indrid Cold, but I don't believe a goddamn word that comes out of John Keel's mouth.
Well, you see here, what he got them calls there for was because...
Can we just do this in our normal voices?
I like talking like that. I'm sorry. Why he was getting the calls from Indrid Cold is because he was putting his nose in where he didn't belong. He was basically doing their job, asking people about their experiences and all the witnesses, and they're like, you got to stop it, man. You're getting too warm. You're getting on the trail. You got to get.
Or they were just wrong numbers. Like, Indrid Cold didn't know what a phone was. Like, every time he's like, what is this thing? Why does everybody put them to their faces? And he's like, hello? Hello? Oh my God, it talks.
Hello. Is this?
Hello. Where is your face? It's Indrid Cold talking to the phone.
Are you the leader of these people?
I lost it.
You lost the phone, lost the call, what?
Everything.
Dropped the call.
My goddamn mind. John Keel, like we said, wrote the Mothman prophecies, and he talks a lot about all these mysterious phone calls he would get. The thing is, John Keel was very informed by a colleague of his, another popular writer in the ufology community, Gray Barker.
Oh, yeah.
Gray Barker was the first person to popularize and write about the Men in Black, the MIBs. It was either him or John Keel that coined the term MIB.
Is there any relation to Clive Barker?
I don't know.
Other
Probably
than the fact
not.
that they're both authors and one is actually good.
I don't know. Do you think he may have been a dog? Because that would be adorable. If his name was Gray Barker and he was a gray dog, oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my
No,
god.
it would
And
be ironic.
he was typing away on his typewriter. Oh my god.
It'd be ironic because it'd be a brown dog.
Gray Barker, from what I could gather, though, was basically trolling the entire UFO community. He pretty much invented the Men in Black and ran this whole prank call thing on John Keel. Like, John Keel, again, the guy who wrote the Mothman prophecies and all that, like, Richard Gere was playing a fictional character. Like, he was basically playing John Keel's Mary Sue. Like, the name of the character was John Klein, and instead of being a bullshit UFO reporter who wrote bullshit books, he worked for, like, the New York Times or something.
Right. He
Like,
worked for a really accredited place.
yeah, and then there's the part where suddenly Richard Gere just knows how to fly the Millennium Falcon. It's ridiculous. And Gray Barker, so he was fucking with John Klein. I'm sorry, John Keel. Like,
Why?
John Keel got a phone call one day, and it was like, and I don't remember all the details, so I'm going to make up a few, but the spirit of the phone call is accurate, just not the details.
Okay. So was
he's
he an internet troll before the internet?
yeah, basically. So he gets this call, and he's like, "Hey, John Keel, it's Gray Barker. I just wanted to let you know about this thing I heard. There were goblins in my refrigerator." That's the part I made up. Not my refrigerator, someone else's. So there are goblins in this chick's refrigerator over in Massachusetts. You should go check it out. And John Keel's like, "Okay, Gray Barker, I will. Thanks for the pro tip." And he hangs up, and he's
So
like,
the pro tip.
he hangs up, and he's like, "That's interesting because me and Gray Barker already investigated the goblins in the fridge together. Dun, dun, dun. Who is this weird person calling me pretending to be Gray Barker?"
That's interesting because Gray Barker is actually a dog.
So dogs can't talk. Caught you in your lie. So
Space Coyotes, different story.
so he calls up Gray Barker, and he's like, "Dude, somebody called me pretending to be you. It was they said that we should investigate that, but I knew that you wouldn't forget that we already investigated that together." And he's like, "Yeah, that's fucked up, bro. That's fucking
dude.
weird. I think it must be the government fucking with you, bro, because you're seeing all the UFOs. Maybe it's aliens." So he was legitimately like pranking John Keel, and he's been quoted by plenty of people super close to him, Gray Barker, as admitting to like fabricating half his book on Mothman. Having just like writing the UFO books, writing bullshit because it sells.
Oh man, he was the original jerky boy.
He was a closet skeptic basically, who was just like, "Man, fuck this UFO community."
Let's see how rich I can get off these assholes.
And between Gray Barker and John Klein and like Eric Von Daniken, maybe
John Klein.
John Keel, I'm sorry. They
And Richard Gere.
and Richard Gere, like the four of them basically defined the landscape of UFO mythology. What we think of when we think of like UFOs, I guess that's not fair. Other people probably contributed, like the Greys and the reptilians and stuff, but like Men in Black, flying saucers, the conspiracies, all this stuff was pretty much invented by these two people. And John Keel really comes off as someone that just desperately wants to believe, and
He is
so...
the Mulder.
No,
No, he's the Skull. No, he's the Mulder.
no, because Mulder, I don't know if that's fair. It's not, because Mulder exists in a universe in which a lot of this shit is happening, and Mulder's on the right track. And I think John Keel just desperately wants to believe in a bunch of fucking stupid shit.
Okay, so he's in the Mulder in a universe where he just ends up looking like an asshat.
The idea that I think the whole idea that the Mothman incidents were even considered of any relative importance, even in the crypto paranormal fields, and yes, that's a word. I'm sticking to it. I'm making it a thing. It's so fetch.
I'm sure other crypto paraphological people will agree with you.
That it's not, and they pretty much invented that. They invented the Men in Black. Whenever you feel like you want to believe these conspiracy theories, just remind yourself that it was almost all invented by a bunch of people that, now that we can actually research these people's credentials, a bunch of people that were full of shit.
Yeah, and just making stuff up and...
Yeah, I'm sorry, it breaks my heart, but I'm not 12 anymore, and I don't believe these people that wrote all these UFO books.
So what you're saying is you don't believe in the Mothman.
I believe Neil deGrasse Tyson over John Keel. I'm sorry.
Okay, so Neil deGrasse Tyson does not believe in the Mothman? Is this a thing that's come out?
I have not asked him.
Does B.O.B. believe in the Mothman?
Probably.
How about Tila
Open
Tequila?
your eyes.
How can you look at all the proof and not know? You just gotta let the truth in. So this is great. This is great stuff because it sucks. Because what if the Mothman was real and a real thing, and John Keel just ruined
And what
it
if
for
it
everybody?
actually was half moth, half man, and it wasn't even just like some weird winged freaky creature?
What if the Mothman comes out and goes, guys, I'm. See, you keep calling me a Mothman. I am not a Mothman. What I actually am is I'm one of the Men in Blacks, but I'm in a big high-grade tech suit.
So it's like the ATAX.
I'm an alien warning. I'm one of the... we're not Greys. That's Gray Barkers.
Is that the Mothman's sober voice?
This is the Mothman. That's why he gets drunk, because he's really... he's very... he really hates his own voice when he's drunk, when he's sober, so he drinks to forget about it, and then he talks, you're cute. You're cute.
So what are some of the possible explanations for these sites? What could the Mothman be? What could be going on here? Let's explore every possibility, no matter how insane and weird.
I'm going to say it, right? I'm going to say it. It was a sandhill crane.
Okay, number 1 on the list, sandhill crane.
Number 2 on the list, a shite poke.
Shite poke. Some type of heron. I don't know if I buy this. The sandhill crane doesn't seem to fit the bill, but you know what does? A fucking owl.
But would an owl have a 10-foot wingspan and be 5 feet tall?
First of all, some of them are damn near close. Second of all, people are notoriously bad at judging height,
especially from a distance.
Yeah, and at night. It's very difficult. But owls, a barred owl or an albino owl, or there's a lot of things that could have been responsible. But you think about how...
Well, the easiest thing we can explain is the glowing eyes.
Yeah.
Reflective
it has
surfaces.
The big glowing eyes. Its eyes are sunken in its chest without a head. You see how an owl would have its head low, no neck, and its wings up above its like shoulders, up above its head. And an owl is also, Craig, scary. Like, owls are apex predators, and being in the presence of an apex predator, like, sure, if I show you a picture of an owl, it doesn't look scary necessarily. It might, depending on the picture and the owl. But when you are in the presence of an owl, like if an owl looks at you, you will feel intimidated.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe not at daytime at the zoo behind a cage, but like if you're just walking and you see an owl, it is intimidating. Even if you know it's not going to attack you, you are in the presence of one of the most badass creatures on earth, who knows it's a badass, who is a creature of the night, who like, it's so... I really think it's very possible that the people who did see something saw a fucking owl and it was scary. And yeah.
Well, let's say it was an owl, right? A bigger owl. You think the first 2 couples that were together in the car driving down the road, let's say this owl's chasing them. Do you think the owl's like, oh yeah, that's the biggest fucking mouse I've ever seen. I'm going to bring this shit home.
No, I think if they saw something, maybe they exaggerated and it didn't like chase them to the city limits.
Just probably flew behind them for a few seconds.
Yeah.
So like, all right, this is my stop. Or it's like, the owl's just like, you hear that, kids? Get out of my swamp.
But maybe we're being too mundane. Maybe it is a weird creature. Maybe it is a weird humanoid winged creature.
Maybe there was no Mothman. Maybe they just saw some kind of winged creature and it had nothing to do with moths or man.
Maybe something was mutated on the TNT plant by all those chemicals.
Toxic chemicals emitting radiation created a giant shite poke that had 4 arms. And
may have been a mutated, scary-looking weird bird.
Yeah.
Or a mutated freak monster, like from Resident Evil.
Or Bat Boy. Have we said Bat Boy yet?
It could have been Bat Boy.
It really could have been.
You suggested that, and I just kind of ignored it and glossed over it. But really,
thank you.
We haven't given that theory its due. It most likely was Bat Boy.
Yes, exactly.
It could have been, and this has been suggested, a trans-dimensional being who portends of disaster that's coming. The Mothman could have been showing up to warn people that this bridge was going to be collapsed.
Well, that's the cryptid theory, isn't it? Like
a cryptid is a creature, is an animal that hasn't been discovered.
Right, but that's like the main theory about a Mothman existing, it was there for that purpose, to warn people.
Well, that wouldn't be a cryptozoological explanation. That would be a paranormal explanation.
Okay.
Because cryptozoology, a cryptid is like, that's some type of animal.
What's the diff?
There's a big diff. I'm
Okay,
explaining it to you right now,
whatever.
friggin' Pope.
Jeez, back up, huh?
Maybe it was a lunar moth. Those are fucking big. They're fucking big.
Big
it's
enough.
always surprising and impressive to see one in person.
Especially maybe if it got in the moonlight.
Yeah.
You know, you caught it in the moonlight. It's like, oh my God, it's bigger than the fucking moon.
Objects in the mirror may be closer than they appear. Well, they look bigger in I don't know.
Objects in the rearview mirror may be larger than they actually are.
Yes. And they read that and they're like, oh, fuck, that would mean that moth must be like 10 feet wingspan.
Clearly, it was 6 feet tall, and it didn't even like flap the wings, so it just shot up.
A lot of people said that the Mothman never flapped its wings. It just went up into the air and flew without flapping wings.
Took off like a crazy video edit.
That's just improbable. Not impossible. No, it's impossible.
Maybe it wasn't any of these things. Maybe it was a Mothman. Maybe the tragedy that has fallen upon this city has nothing to do with the Mothman, but yet of a curse. The cornstalk curse, to be exact.
In the 1700s, right around this area here by the Ohio River, there was this great leader of the Shawnee Nation named Hokolesqua, which translates to cornstalk.
Cornstalk, the chief cornstalk.
Chief Cornstalk, his deal was he led all sorts of native peoples in fighting against European settlement, like settling.
Colonials.
Colonialization, yeah.
Yeah.
The Iroquois had already ceded the land pretty much, but he was standing firm that was their hunting ground, and they weren't letting it go.
That's my hunting ground. Those are my wolves. That's my bear. You can't build your house here. You can't.
I don't think they thought that they owned the wolves and the bear.
Well,
but
those are my
I don't think you
friends.
understand.
Those are my friends to play Let's Hunt with.
Those are my poker buddies. So in the Battle of Point Pleasant, Cornstalk stormed the Virginian settler camps. He was outnumbered at least 2-1, and they were unfortunately unsuccessful. They were forced to retreat.
They realized they couldn't win this fight right now, so he decided to make a deal to save his people.
Chief Cornstalk, signed this treaty, pretty much just giving Kentucky and West Virginia to the settlers. I'm so sad telling this story.
Yeah, it is kind of like, you know what? Okay, I wanted my land, but you know what? I want my people's life more.
I wanted to hear that he fought them off and he succeeded, but
right.
He became a proponent of peace. And that's good. How can you be mad at that?
How can you be mad at wanting to at least coexist here?
It is kind of like, yeah, but a proponent of peace after being screwed out of what was kind of already his, and then trying to fight to keep what was rightfully his, not winning the fight, and being sort of left with no option,
Yeah.
So,
all right, yay, peace. And I think they even agreed to fight off the British armies.
Well, no, during the American Revolution, so Native Americans, there were some of them that were sided with, the settlers, the Americans.
Right.
There were some of them that thought by settling with like the British army,
British people, they would be able to get rid of the colonials.
Yeah, and at least get some of their land back. And then,
like they were promised by the other white guys.
Right. Captain Cornstalk, Chief Cornstalk.
Captain Cornstalk.
Sounds like a cereal mascot. Chief Cornstalk worked to keep his people neutral throughout the conflict. He visited Point Pleasant preaching his neutrality and was detained by the asshole that ran that fort, Point Pleasant.
Right, because to him, all Native Americans were the same.
And he would detain any of them that came to him. So
you're a threat. You might be working for the Redcoats.
He had him detained, and while he was detained...
while they were detained, Chief Cornstalk and his son...
his son was...
Yeah, it was his son.
Oh, man. How old?
Probably about a teenager.
And then he fell on him, and he's like, well, he did.
He did. So it was just me, I guess. While they were detained, the fort was attacked by another tribe of Native Americans.
Was it that fort? They were unidentified. No one knows who it was, but some Native Americans attacked and killed a few white soldiers.
And so in the best response that probably only Donald Trump could give, they attacked us, so we are going to take out their people that we already have detained.
Basically, people got pissed. They killed Chief Cornstalk
And his son.
just because they were like, fuck Indians.
Yeah,
it was awful.
they were like, you're from India.
You were let God sort of Indians, Arabs, they all look like terrorists to me.
Wrong Indians.
Yeah, they're ignorant ass
Yeah.
fucking Americans.
True.
Yeah, first of all, wrong Indians. There's only one Indians, Craig, and they live in India.
No, not true. Not true. It is not technically insensitive to call Native Americans Indians because Indians could also refer to indigenous people.
I think
I learned that from an interview.
I think that's backtracking. Indian is not short for indigenous.
But it could be.
It could be retroactively.
This actually came from a Native American. This has nothing to do with what we were talking about.
Well, he probably speaks for his race. So if
I'm sure
he says
does.
it's kind of like if Jesse Jackson says something.
So now I'm just the racist asshole. Well, fuck.
No. No, you're not an asshole, Craig.
I'm just
You
misinformed.
can't help it if you've grown up in institutionalized racism brainwashing you.
Gee, wow, fuck.
Just joking. I'm
institutionalized. It's not my fault. I've been brainwashed.
No, Craig, you didn't say anything racist.
Donald Trump comes in and makes the sun come up.
Okay, now you did.
Okay.
With your your false heliocentric models of the fucking sun, you've been duped. It's all Donald Trump.
Donald Trump is the sun.
Donald Trump makes the sun rise.
Oh my God, this is like Secret Wars all over again. John Blaze was the son.
I drove Ra's chariot. It was... So, basically, back to the main story. Cornstalk was unfairly executed. Local folklore says that he put a curse on Point Pleasant, and the Mothman is because of that.
A bringer of the curse. Well, what he apparently had said was something along the lines of, I was your friend, you killed me and my son, nothing shall grow on your land, your whole place shall be cursed.
There's no evidence he said that. It's
like
just
I said, what was
local folklore.
said that he said. It was said that he said.
That's not what I read was that he said, if I could, I'd track down every copy of the Mothman prophecies and smash them all with a sledgehammer.
Oh, man. But then what would they show at the annual Mothman Festival in Point Pleasant, West Virginia since 2002?
Well,
there's actually a bunch of movies about the Mothman.
Oh, really? There's a couple. I'm stumped. I was trying to think of another movie about moths, and I can't.
I'll be honest with you. While researching this, I found out that in this month of January, a new found footage horror movie has just been released called Moth. It's about the Mothman.
I'm happy to see there are, because I came into this thinking, man, when I was younger, I was so disappointed with the Mothman prophecies. I want to see a B movie about the Mothman just killing people and shit, about a half moth, half man.
There's probably a few.
Mothballs to the wall.
There's a movie called Mothman Returns. It's a Batman-centric
Michelle
movie.
Pfeiffer in it?
Yeah.
Alien Big Catwoman?
Oh, yeah. Kind of. Chief Cornstalk was played by Christopher Walken.
But to the point at hand... There's a Mothman, an annual Mothman festival since what, like 2002 or
2002.
something? Wow,
oddly,
really?
the same year that the Mothman prophecies came out.
I called it. Oh, oddly.
It's ripe with vendors, guest speakers, hayride tours around Point Pleasant, and even a Mothman pancake eating contest.
Oh, sign me the fuck up. You had me at pancake.
No, seriously.
No, seriously.
If you go right now, you can go to mothmanfestival.com. It's a thing.
I know.
Look it up yourself. I'm talking to them, Nathan. I'm talking to them, the people, the ones that are trying to learn more about this festival. What I don't get about this festival is that people talk about the tragedy of the Silver Bridge, and they say that they're still feeling the hurt from that tragedy, yet they're going to celebrate supposedly the bringer of the tragedy.
Well, there's pancakes, Craig. A man can go on and on about or a woman can go on and on about their moral standing and their firm grounding, but when faced with pancakes, you'll compromise your ethics.
It's all bullshit because they're really not pancakes, they're actually crepes. Because you have to draw the Mothman, right?
Oh, no.
Gloves
and I
are
thought
off.
John Keel was fucking telling pork pies. I'm going up against the biggest liars in all of history. Now I know how B.O.B. feels.
Jesus.
The Earth is a pancake.
Because she is flat.
Neil deGrasse Tyson would have us believe that she is a munchkin or a tidbit. A timbit.
That Red Bull GoPro dive from the atmosphere, that was all just staged on studio. Wherever they shot the moon landing, that's where that GoPro video happened.
So what do you think, Craig? What do you personally think about the Mothman?
Well, from what I have seen with my own two eyes,
you saw the Mothman?
He seems like a good guy. I saw him. Dude brought me to the gas station when my car was broke down. He towed me. He didn't have a car. He just put cables around his neck and towed me. Just threw that shit in neutral and just let it go. Okay. The Mothman is a fascinating entity to read about and talk about. Obviously, a lot of times when you're talking about cryptids, chances are they aren't real, but they're still fun to read the stories and enjoy and think, what if?
I don't even feel fair classifying it as a cryptid. That's why I really feel this word crypto paranormal is necessary. Although there's probably already a word, supernatural, but I hate supernatural too. Hey, Nathan from the past. It's Nathan from the future. The word you're looking for is Fortean. I don't know, you knew that, so I don't know.
You want to get supernatural here? I'm not talking about that one show that tons of people seem to love.
I hate that word. Stuff doesn't happen that's not natural just because we don't understand it.
It's not just natural. It's beyond natural. Or if you will,
that just means it's natural. We just don't have a scientific explanation for it in our feeble worldview.
If not supernatural, can we call it metanatural?
No, because it's not actually.
Because then it wouldn't be natural, right?
It's still natural then.
The fact that it's beyond natural stops it from being natural.
Supernatural.
Is that what you're getting at?
Even if it's magic, even if it's straight magic and it's a ghost and it's an interdimensional being, it's still not supernatural. It's just such a level of reality and natural and nature that we don't understand. We don't have a worldview, a framework for it.
Maybe we can get John Constantine on here and he could explain all this for us.
John Klein?
John Constantine, because he knows about magic.
Oh, okay. Well, basically, you got your untap phase, you got your draw phase.
But there was one more Mothman sighting. Well, I mean, let's get real. There have been tons of Mothman sightings throughout the times, and supposedly the people saw him before 9/11. But there was one that really stuck out in my mind. Somebody in 2007, in June of 2007, driving through Minneapolis into Iowa, called in a radio show to report a sighting, basically, of the Mothman. They said, "Oh, I saw the Mothman," and then less than
what was this? Art Bell?
Yeah, I saw a Mothman. Yeah, about a month later, in early August of 2007, the I-35 bridge in Minneapolis, Minnesota, collapsed, killing 10 people.
After they reported it, or did they report it beforehand?
No, it was on a radio show in June, was reported.
Okay.
And then it collapsed in August. The funny thing about this, or a few things about this bridge, is that, yes, it was classified as structurally deficient, but that doesn't mean that it can't be driven on. It just means it needs to be monitored closely. And in May of that year, the bridge was checked and was sent to be checked every year, but there was no imminent dangers or threats.
Well, also,
posed.
even like what, the Mothman can't show up to warn you about a structurally deficient bridge? How would that even be? I could have many arguments against the Mothman, but one of them wouldn't be like, well, look, there are natural explanations for why the bridge collapsed. It's like, yeah, but that doesn't change the fact that I'm saying Mothman was here to portend disaster.
I'm saying that there were checkups on this bridge, and just months before it happened, they said that yeah, it's okay. There's no imminent dangers posing this. We want to check up on it again in a year, but it should be good for then. It collapses, right? Here is where the real craziness comes. You want to know when this bridge was opened?
When?
December 1967.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right? I thought that was the one coincidence that made this sighting. Okay, it's all BS. Fine, whatever. But this gives it a little more credibility than the others.
So what do you think, Craig, if pressed for an answer? I know neither of us know, and we shouldn't have to
give a definite answer. Because swear to God, I say no. That if I say no and then it turns out it was, I'm gonna be like, I don't know. I was lying before.
But what do
I
you
really
think?
believe.
If pressured, did people see something? What were they seeing?
I'm sure they saw
Like,
something. Well, I'm sure some of them saw something.
So you don't think that there's a supernatural or a weird undiscovered creature?
Probably not. I want to think that. I want to believe that. I am like Mulder. I want to believe, but probably not. The sane part of me that goes, Craig, we are living in the real world, says it's not a ghost. It's not an alien. It could be an alien, and maybe. No, probably not. I don't think aliens have actually visited Earth.
I think it was just an owl, which was mutated by the TNT plant into an interdimensional being that
yes.
portends disaster, and all of that happened because of Chief Cornstalk's curse.
Yes, a TMNT mutated bird.
Beyond. Yes, that would be a great fucking toy. That would be a great action figure. The Mothman would be a great Ninja Turtle toy.
Oh my God, I think they have one. Not the Mothman, but a Mothman.
The Mason County
turtle.
Mothman.
Yeah, the Mason County Mothman. Okay.
No, really though, I really think it was an owl. Like I said earlier, I really think people saw an owl.
Yeah, probably.
I really don't even think it had to be mutated. I think that's like even a reach that you don't need, because owls can be scary on their own.
Well, also, maybe, like, they're saying it was 5 feet tall. Maybe the owl was just 4 feet off the ground, you know?
I just don't buy that they could guess. When you work in a coffee shop, the door, which is just a few feet away from you in plain light, has feet marked on it in case someone tries to rob you, because that's how
you can tell how
that's
tall
how
a person is.
unreliable. Yeah, so when they leave, you can look at how tall they were. Like, that's how unreliable human beings testaments of memory are, especially in a crisis.
I had no idea that's what it was for. When I was younger, I'd walk in and I'd always be like, how tall am I? I'm going to measure
see how
myself.
much I've grown since the last time I came
I'm
here.
On camera. But enough about what we think about the Mothman. Why don't you tell us what you think about the Mothman? Is he real? Is he not? Let us know.
Is it even a he?
Is it a she? It could be a fucking she. It's pretty sexist of us calling it the Mothman. It could be the Moth Lady.
Maybe it's a butterfly. Maybe it's not even a moth.
That's still, yeah. Maybe it's a bird.
A dragonfly.
Could be a dragonfly lady man dude. Dragon dude.
Digimon. Did ya, pardon the pun, but did ya ever think that?
No.
Prodigious. Let us know. Hit us up on Facebook. Please like our Facebook. We really need more likes on there. We've got about 300 something. Let's break 500. Come on.
Please. Let's all be like Derek and shout out to us on there. You could also always hit us up on Twitter at Fairpoint Pod. That's starting to go like crazy now. So
please do. Please hit us up.
We're on the marks. We're having people like our shit a lot. Please retweet us as well. Please respond.
We love the conversation. We love the feedback. And this episode, if nothing else, is proof that you can get returns from contacting us. Derek contacted us. He was like, hey, I probably could look up the message and read it, but he's like, I've been reading about this thing I never heard before. Mothman is really interesting. He got a fucking Mothman episode out of it.
Yeah.
The next 2 episodes are 2 totally separate people from Derek. They're not even the same entity.
It's not even the same Derek.
No, it's not even. They're not even named
It's not
Derek.
even the same name.
They are both IG-88 though, so I guess that throws.
But
a
they're
little bit
2
of
different IG-88s.
Yeah, but
So-
I mean, it's still a shared consciousness, hive mind. So I mean, really, I mean, I know we're talking semantics,
It
but
counts to me.
really, like, go hit us up on Twitter. We love it. We love hearing from our fans, our listeners, even our detractors.
We love making YouTube videos for our stuff, so go check us out there. Subscribe, why not? Because, it's there. Some people actually just listen to us on YouTube, so that's cool.
You might be hearing this on YouTube. If you did, please leave a comment, even if it's just one word, even if you're just saying gay.
Or first.
Like, yeah, we won't even flag it because we want the comment on there because it drives traffic.
Right? Let's. The one thing I loved about being on YouTube before was the fact that you could get 2 people fighting about something that's not even about the video.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then it'll turn into
comments.
20 people fighting. Before you know it, slurs are being thrown around. We're like, oh,
Yeah, I think it's our Addams Family episode. There were like two people arguing about Barack Obama, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to let it happen because that's constant activity on my video.
Yeah, right? We're evil here.
Give us the thumbs up, the subscribe. All that really, really helps a lot. We say it every episode, and it's totally true.
We're going to continue to say it. Subscribe on iTunes. Why not?
We need more iTunes ratings. Right now we have like 20-something.
We have a few.
Yeah, and 20-something's really good considering some of the biggest podcasts only have like 100. So please help us out.
That.
Like, could you imagine if we got up there near like the same amount of positive ratings as some of the
Mark
biggest
Maron?
podcasts? Mark Maron probably has like thousands.
But okay.
I believe I remember seeing like Jake and Amir only having like 110 or something. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But regardless, it's a huge, huge help. It's a non-monetary way to support the podcast. And yeah.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
Yeah. Next week, another fan-requested episode.
We're getting even more alien.
The H to the R to the G-I-G-E-R.
G-E-I-G-R.
I like it when you call me H.R. Geiger. I don't like that. It's weird, actually. Don't call me H.R. Geiger.
Do that. That's a nightmare.
I would be really confused. I'd be like, I don't look like him physically. I don't resemble his artwork. Do I? H.R. Geiger, our second fan-requested topic. The weird, surreal, and creepy artist behind the designs of some of your favorite creepy sci-fi movies like Ridley Scott's Alien, Dune. Well, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Fun's one word for it.
What's another word for it?
You'll have to listen next week.
David Lynch.
He worked alongside David Lynch a lot, didn't he?
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll talk about it next week.
Whatever.
Fuck, we keep talking about it. We're not going to give him any reason to come back and listen. Thanks for listening. Keep your eyes open. Be on the lookout for Mothmans. And watch
the skies.
Keep an eye on your baby. Don't fall on your baby.
I am Craig, and I am a human. I am a human that bleeds like you.
From the secret room, my name is Nathan K. I sleep, breathe, and bleed, even as you do.
And I'm Craig. Holy shit! There's a shite poke on my porch, Lewis.
Craig the Shite Poke Lewis.
Yeah, sure.
Talk to you next time.
Oh, pretty scary stuff there now, isn't it?
I want to go home. It's like 2 a.m.
You two lovebirds get on home. Just for God's sake, be safe. Keep your headlights off while you're driving. Morph is attracted to bright lights, you know.
Guy Fawkes! Guy Fawkes! It's him!
Champ Guy, you sure are out of breath. Is it because you're on your course 30 episodes ago?
It's him, Guy Fawkes!
Who is it, Champ Guy? The Lake Champlain monster? He's dead. The Slender Man? Or caught him already?
The Mothman! He's here!
The Mothman? Shit! Get in the car!
Yeah.
What? No! Both of you have to go.
Oh, jeez. Thank you guys so much. Hey, scooch over.
Go on now, scooch.
Oh my god, seriously? Donnie, he smells like brine and salt water.
So go on there, Champ Guy. Tell us what happened.
I was walking, and I saw the Mothman.
And?
He was like a man and a moth, and he had red eyes.
He looked at you.
Ew!
It was pretty creepy.
Look, I thought you guys were trying to catch the Mothman. How are you going to do that from in here?
Catch the Mothman?
Yes, well, I was planning on...
You can't catch a Mothman.
I can do it.
No, you can't. You're playing with fire, Guy Fawkes.
I'm not. I know a figure too about playing with fire now, don't I?
No, you don't.
You guys, shh. It's him. It's the Mothman.
He's an ugly fucker now, isn't he?
God damn it, Guy Fawkes. I had a life. I don't need to be getting pulled back into this shit.
Oh, babe.
Be brave, babe.
All right. Now everybody settle down. The Mothman was attracted to the bright lights of your car. What we needs to do is create a diversion. Distract him with some other bright lights.
This is just like that scene in Jurassic Park. Hey, Scooch.
Except we don't have any flares.
Or do we?
Holy shit.
Champ.
I never leave home without me emergency explosives kit.
You got a lot more than just flares in there.
Well, there's a whole TNT area just down the street. Now what I suggest doing is blowing up City Hall. The explosion will have to be spectacular enough to draw the Mothman's attention.
Wait, blow up City Hall? No way we're gonna let you blow up City Hall, bro.
Well, do you have a better idea, Mr. Smarty Pants?
We can blow up just about anything. Anything other than City Hall, bro.
Yeah, okay, we'll do it Donnie's way. Donnie knows best, eh?
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, we knows what you're saying, Donnie. We gets it. You're always right.
What? No,
Oh my god, he always does this too.
I can tell. He must be a handful.
You have no idea.
Oh, babe, are you guys serious right now? What are we gonna do about the Mothman?
There's nothing we can do. He's gonna kill all of us. It's Mothman. It's Mothman.
Hey, get a hold of yourself now, champ guy.
Lady.
No, my sick ride!
No!
It's Mothman.
No, it's not. It's a Men in Black.
Very astute observation.
Indrid Code.
Yes, it is pretty cold. Maybe if Tommy Lee Jones over here hadn't broken the window.
I breathe, eat, and sleep just like you do.
Shove it, Code. I knows your game.
And I know yours, Aaron boy. What your boss has you running around doing is destined to fail. Quit while you're ahead. There is no Mothman. But I saw him. I saw Mothman. You've seen too much. Ow, hey, let go.
Oi, let go of him.
For too long, this particular thorn in my side has been a thorn in my side. Ah, help! Ah.
Champ guy, no!
You never did learn to just keep your mouth shut, but that's okay. Now we will shut it for you. Consider it a favor. He's gonna kill me! Guy Fawkes, help!
There's nothing I can do. There's just nothing, champ guy. I'm sorry.
You can stop going down the path that you're on before you suffer the same fate. Say goodbye, champ guy. Tell my wife I love her, Guy Fawkes. And that she's pregnant.
Oi, what?
He killed him!
Champ guy, how long overdue, but nonetheless tragic.
And the rest of you can consider this but a warning. Mind your own business. As for you, we'll be watching you, Guy Fawkes. Whoever you're working for, deliver this message to him.
Well then, what's the message?
That was the message.
What?
Champ Guy, he was message.
You want I should tell? You want I should tell him it's champs or something?
No, that we killed Champ Guy. That's the message. We killed him.
Well, somebody's got to tell him, don't they? I guess that somebody is me.
Dude, I think it's supposed to be a threat.
What? Nobody threatens Guy Oh, he's gone. Spooky. Well, I'm off to get me a Mothman. You two lovebirds take care. Oh, and be safe. Wear one of these.
Condoms?
What? No. Anonymous masks. One for each of yous. Wear them while you're driving, with the lights off, of course. Oh, hey, by the by, you guys wouldn't mind taking care of the body, would yous? Just dump him in Lake Champlain or something. That's how we would have wanted it.